Hey, it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church with another Proverbs Practical. I'm glad to have you watching today. Our previous video urged us to seek out good advice if we want to be successful, especially in situations of conflict. This next verse links two problematic practices in communication and relationships. In Proverbs 20:19, the scripture says, "He that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips." So here are two linked practices that are often used by people who cause trouble for others and make problems with what they say. The first is about the talebearer. This first phrase talks about the talebearer revealing secrets. The talebearer is someone who loves to tell one person another person's business, and especially their flaws and faults. The talebearer isn't really doing it to seek help for the other person or counsel for themselves. They're doing it because it makes them important or powerful to know and use the secrets of others. Now, they may rationalize it or excuse it in other ways, but they're really just going around using information about others to help themselves. Now, this kind of person is terribly devastating and dangerous. While truth and transparency are generally good qualities, there are many places where discretion should still the tongue. And likewise, the talebearer is often more concerned with whether the story is good than whether it's true. They often haven't fact-checked it, or they don't care about the truthfulness of it. They just spread it because it will help them or their cause. It'll manipulate others to do what they want them to do, or it will amuse or entertain them, and thus it spreads false rumors that others have invented or twisted to help their own causes. Be especially careful of this talebearer approach in an election season and with social media. It is so easy to see something that looks like a screenshot of something, to see something that looks like a quote from someone. It resonates with what we think of someone or something, and it's easy to spread it around without actually checking it out, going back to a primary source or a reputable source, and thus we slip into this trap of talebearing, sharing information that really isn't ours in order to manipulate other people. It's easy to see something that agrees with our beliefs and inclinations and believe it and have it influence our actions and feelings, thus falling prey to the talebearing of others if we aren't carefully skeptical of things that we hear and see, especially the things that reinforce what we're inclined to think and believe already. But this links this practice to another person. See, sometimes it's hard to know who's the talebearer right up front, who you can trust with your information and who you can't, who you can talk to openly and know that they will be discreet and wise in their handling with what you tell them. You might not know right away who can be trusted with knowledge, to use it to help rather than harm, to use it selflessly rather than selfishly to advance themselves or manipulate others. But there is a telltale linked trait. The second part of the verse says, "Therefore meddle not with him that flatters with his lips." So that's linking flattery to talebearing. Now, the flattering, that can also be rendered entice, as back in chapter 1 when it warned us that if sinners entice us not to consent. The flatterer, the enticer, tells us what we want to hear, especially about ourselves. They affirm us. They rarely have anything corrective to say to our faces. Now, this feels good. We feel encouraged. We feel affirmed. And we tend to trust those whom we think care for us. And we think that if a person makes us feel good, they must care for us. But this kind of person, the flatterer, is manipulative. They'll say the good things to our faces and spread the criticism behind our backs. And neither the good nor the critique needs to be true for them to use it. Whether it's speaking good to someone or speaking bad about someone, what the talebearer and the flatterer have in common is a disregard for truth and a willingness to use words to manipulate people and gain advantage for themselves. So if you realize that someone is a flatterer, all they're saying to you is things that puff you up, things that affirm you and validate you and make you feel good, the person whose words are too good to be true, the person who tells you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear, the person who urges you to ignore your blind spots instead of calling attention to them, steer clear of this person. Untruth is dangerous, whether it is about ourselves or about others. Now, should a friend encourage? Sure. Should they speak with grace? Absolutely. Should they be gentle? Most certainly. But should they ever be untruthful to us, even if it's what we want to hear and what will make us feel good about ourselves? Well, no. Because if they will be untruthful to us, they will also be untruthful about us and about others to us. I hope this video is a help to you. If so, give it a like, subscribe to our channel for more content like it. We'd love to hear from you in the comments, especially if you've got questions about the scriptures or things you'd like us to pray for, and we'd love to see you in person here at Dexter Gospel Church. Until next time, I hope you stay well and avoid untruth.